action. So we just got back from our trip to Austin, Texas, after visiting for the first time as lifelong Californians. After spontaneously booking our flights and visiting for 4 days, we absolutely loved it. In fact, we loved it so much that we've decided to move to Austin. We just got back to LA and we wanted to share our experience of Austin and all of the reasons why we're choosing it as our new US home base. For anybody who's thinking of moving to Austin soon or is curious about an honest opinion on the city and what it's like and why we're choosing it as our new US home base, this is for you. Why did we choose Austin as our new US home base? So, first and foremost, right, we just want to say that at the end of the day, you're gonna hear amazing reviews and horrible reviews about any place that you visit in the entire world.
Yeah, and that's visiting or even living there. And everyone's gonna say, oh, it's so different when you visit to live, and right?
Yes. So you're always gonna hear both sides of the story, and everyone's experience is gonna be different. So what we recommend is wherever you want to visit, don't take our word for it. Just go and visit yourself, create your own opinion. But with that being said, this is why we are choosing to move to Austin. The main goal for us is that we want to live an amazing life, achieve all of our goals and all of our dreams and ambitions. And we kind of have been wanting to do this
For a while.
This 10x, what we call a 10x jump, where we do something bold and audacious and just fucking go for it.
At the end of the day, we had talked about, we're about to end the year, we're about to start 2025. What can we do to really just kickstart 2025? How do we shake things up? We still had enough time. At the time we had about 2 months, right? Mm-hmm. And we ended up, it all led to this moment.
Yeah. So from there, the entire year of 2024, I've been living as a digital nomad. I started in Spain, I was in Portugal, I was in Morocco, I was in the UK, and then I started visiting different cities in the US. I've been looking for a new home base.
I've been in LA building a business here, and it's a lot more difficult for me to travel, but throughout the year, 3 years, I've been to Boston, I've been to New York, I've been to Chicago, and they're all amazing cities, and I love them, but it didn't ever really draw me to, I want to go here and start something.
So these are the 3 main reasons why we're choosing Austin as our new US home base, and we'll go ahead and break them down in a little more depth in the rest of the video.
The 3 criterias were, we need to be able to live an amazing lifestyle wherever we move, has to be business friendly so that we can build a great business there, and then 3 was the housing had to be affordable and get us an amazing house.
At least more affordable than Los Angeles.
Yeah. For us,
which is pretty much anywhere in the world, except New York City, Paris, and London, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Pretty good place to start from.
All right, so let's start with number 1, living an amazing lifestyle.
So for me, I love traveling. I'm passionate about traveling. My favorite cities that I've visited so far are in Europe. And the European cities to me are my standard. And that means that it has to be walkable. It has to have nice weather. It has to lend itself to having a nice, vibrant downtown.
Yeah.
And it has to be filled with it has to be alive and filled with a lot of things to do. So for me personally, Austin checks off all of those boxes, right? It's walkable. It's a nice time zone, right? Central time.
Yep.
It's in between Eastern, in between Pacific. So for business, it works. So walkability, the time zone, close to bodies of water. I really wanted to live next to an ocean, but when I tried that, there were hurricanes that were happening in Florida. So a lake is an amazing body of water that is not going to be hit by hurricanes, knock on wood. Being close to nature, having a lot of outdoor activities to do. Also, just the fact that it has nice weather year round, except for summer, right? Summer is the only real sort of time that you wouldn't really want to be there maybe. But for me, all of those things lend itself to an amazing lifestyle.
Yeah, I think for me I love LA. I think California is amazing. It's really hard to beat. I do think that for what I want, it's not something that is realistic for me in terms of the price point you need to be at to live a great lifestyle here is a lot higher. So what I loved about Austin was I get everything from California, and it's all condensed into a 10 to 30 minute radius. And I get what I loved in California, which is I still get great weather. I averaged out every year for the past 3 years. The temperature per month and the humidity, it's quite similar to LA. I don't get the beaches. I don't get Malibu. I don't get Manhattan Beach. I don't get Newport. But that lake that is running through the city, Barton Springs, it replaces it for me. And the fact that I can run to it, we can drive to it in 5 minutes, that makes it even better, right? So everything has just been better than if I were to stay here.
There's a lot in a condensed space, like you said. So for me, one of the big gripes with LA is that everything is so sprawled out.
Yeah.
And you have to drive 45 minutes to go to the beach, 45 minutes to go here, 45 minutes to go here. So the fact that everything here feels a little more condensed, I think that's going to be really nice.
And just to add to that, and here living where we live, you kind of have to sacrifice friendships, relationships, going to do things, certain activities, all because of my time doesn't allow me to. I get off work, well, I have to still eat, I have to go to the gym, and with the distances of 45 minutes, an hour there, and then another 40 or hour or more because there's going to be traffic later at night, coming back, you end up not doing a lot of things. The lifestyle is difficult because you can't do a lot of extra activities with people unless they're just in your immediate area.
Yeah, and really, I mean, there are so many new restaurants that are popping up. Austin has about 7, right? If I'm not mistaken, 7 Michelin-starred restaurants. It's about half of the Michelin-starred restaurants in all of Texas. So we have great food. There's a lot to do outdoors. There are a lot of activities. There's a lot of music and live events. Austin City Limits Festival
South by
happens
Southwest
every year. So, yep, that one as well. So you just kind of have so much that's going on, all within a small proximity of each other, and you have, you don't really get snow, or you don't have crazy freezing weather, which for me that's a big deal because I am not a cold type of dude. And so I wanted to find somewhere kind of not as extreme. And really, it's just a summer that we're going to probably experience it at some point. And it's going to be more than we're used to here in LA. Because LA is almost perfect weather compared to anywhere on the planet. So it is tough to beat that. But I think the way that we want to set up our life is that we want to be able to travel during the summer. And maybe we can escape the heat and go travel to Europe or somewhere else.
Yeah, correct. And it's a little bit easier for us. Again, this is our unique experience. Everything else about where we lived, where we have lived, where you could live, it's all great. It's just these things that we needed and we found in Austin. So for us, it's an absolute no-brainer.
And it's in the U.S. and we're American, so everything is so much easier if you are living in your home country.
Exactly.
Right? Because I thought about moving to Europe, but I'd have to get residence, and then
visa,
I have to start paying taxes there as well, and
we'll get
Europe
double tax
for high taxes. Yep. So there are all of these extra things. So for me, finding a U.S. home base was important. The system is built around. It's just so much easier to get everything done, and then especially just Austin to me checked off all the boxes of having an incredible lifestyle without having to drive too much, having that walkability, having that young, vibrant energy and community and culture. And then it's also just fun to be part of, or to see how proud Texans are to be Texan and to be from Texas. There's a culture there, there's an identity. And everywhere that we went, we would see Texas flags and then the American flag as well, which in California, you really could just kind of see the American flag or the California flag, but really just more the American flag. So that let us know, hey, people here, they're proud to be Texan, and it's almost like you're Texan first, American second. And so I think that that's really cool, and Texas emphasizes freedom, independence, and just kind of like letting people do their own thing, which I really love. It's inevitable whenever you have people moving to some place that they're not going to bring their culture, their ideas and thoughts, but I think that what at least I would like to do is we're going to respect the Texan culture We're going to respect, the roots, and we're just going to bring and try and add whatever we can to kind of create the best of both worlds, right? So that's something that I've always been really interested in, is whatever I do or I see, I'm just going to take the good and kind of leave behind the bad. So that's what I would love to do is, hey, California is an amazing place. There are really great people and things that have come from California. Texas is an amazing place, a lot of great things. So how can we bring the best of California to Texas, which kind of it feels like it's already been happening, right?
Yeah.
In Austin specifically.
Well, anyone
we
we've
can't
talked
speak for the
to-
rest of Texas, but in Austin and very close to downtown, which is where we spent the majority of our time.
Yeah, and it seems to be that already anyone from Texas, Austin is very much like LA, right?
Yeah,
Some people
yeah.
like it, dislike
People say
it.
it's a mini LA,
Yeah.
mini California. So that's the lifestyle. Number 2 is building a business. G, you want to start off on this one?
Yeah, I think our priority was no matter what, we need to build a business. So we're with our idea of, hey, let's go to Europe first and try to do this. We touched a little bit already that it was going to be difficult to get residency. It was going to be difficult to have to pay taxes there and pay U.S. taxes. So it became a much better move to let's pick Austin. One, it's I believe it's zero corporate tax and zero income tax, right?
I don't know about corporate tax, but it's
For
zero
businesses?
state income tax.
Okay, well, definitely that. We have great credit. We can get loans. We can sign leases. We've already done a lot of work these past years to be set up to financially benefit from the U.S., right? And we know the tax system, and we know how to do a lot there. So
We know how things work here.
yeah, so the biggest advantage would be build the business here first, then start going to Europe. So in Austin as well, there's a lot of land. So if we wanted to do something with warehouse and space, it's going to be cheaper than here in LA. But we want to do something digital, and that gives us the flexibility of being able to leave during the summers, go to Europe, continue building the business, and we get the best of both worlds.
Yes.
So Austin, again, keeps checking off everything we need.
We're choosing a state that's growing, a city that's growing, and so in a way, if you go in there and you start a business, you're gonna be able to sort of ride the wave
Yeah.
of what's that saying? At a rising tide raises all boats. So the fact that Texas is itself rising, it's gonna raise all other boats, and we want to be a part of that wave, part of that movement, contribute in whatever way we can to keep that going. Number 3. And this is and number 3 for why we're choosing to move to Austin is to buy a nice house, right?
Yep. And there's prices that will scare most people. There's prices that will attract a lot of people. And again, our experience here is this price point that we're able to come in Austin, we're going to get pretty dang close. Where we thought, wow, we're going to be 15, 20 minutes away. Okay, not too bad. Here in LA, we live like that, and it's great. But in Austin, we're actually going to be able to buy a property that's right in the middle of Austin, right? Which is a huge game changer in terms of why we decided to end at Austin. All the other great cities that we wanted, they're just super expensive. New York,
New
right?
York City was one of the top
we thought
contenders.
Paris, very expensive.
London,
but and then Paris again, because
LA,
we're
of
foreigners,
course.
we're gonna have to put 30, 40, 50% down because they don't want to give you a loan. They think you might just default or leave. So it gets a lot more expensive. Even in terms of that, you have to tie up way more capital.
Basically, it's all relative. For us, it's more affordable moving from Los Angeles to Austin. From somebody living somewhere else, it might not be the case. So again, this is just purely for us coming from Los Angeles and going to Austin. What we would see as 1.2, 1.3 million here in Los Angeles, we're seeing over there for 600, 700, maybe 800,000. So that price difference is enough to price us out or not, right? And so for us, that has been such a game changer to think we can live in the middle of the city, close to downtown, close to all the action, have that incredible, vibrant city lifestyle that I think you and I both have really grown to value a lot.
And for us, that's what we're really interested in seeing is, hey, is it going to make sense to buy a $300,000 house, or is it going to make sense for us to go rent there? what price point really makes sense for us, and what allows us to reap the benefit of being in close proximity to all the best things that Austin has to offer.
So the one thing that we have noticed that feels like a bit of a sticker shock is the property taxes on houses. Right? So we've been looking at houses. Property taxes, I believe it's 2.2% of the property value.
Yep.
It gets assessed every year. So every year, because the prices are going up significantly.
About 10% in the past years, it looks like it's been
right.
going
So
up.
you can imagine that your property taxes are now going to be a lot higher than what we've been used to seeing in the majority of states because there are no state income tax. So even though you are saving on the state income tax, when you see it on the mortgage of what the property would be, it seems kind of shocking because you're like, oh my God, that's half of what my rent is, right? For example, like if a property is 500, 600,000, and that's like $700, $800 a month, and you're saying, oh my God, that's
crazy.
That's a good chunk of of what my actual payment is. So that has been a bit of something new to get used to. But when we actually did the math, if you are buying a property in California, let's say, and you're paying the current property tax rate, and you're also paying state income tax, over in Texas, the cost of what it would be to just pay that higher property tax of 2.2%, overall, we will actually be paying less, especially if we're splitting it between both of us.
So we'll actually
so the
save
math
money.
actually, works in our favor, but it doesn't feel like it just because you see it all up front bundled into that property tax cost, which feels like a lot, even though we are technically going to be saving.
Yeah, and this is why or at least I am such a huge fan of, you have to go out there, experience things, see for yourself, because everyone would just scare you. And that's what I heard our entire time of thinking of Texas was, oh no, don't do it. Property taxes are crazy. Don't go do it. You're gonna pay this crazy price. But Ivo, again, numbers guy, did the math and was telling me, hey, we're actually gonna save money.
Yeah.
But anyone else just gets scared and you go, I can't buy there then.
Yeah.
Because that's absurd. Taxes of 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, it's gonna keep rising. You go, never mind, not gonna do it. So do not just take anyone's advice.
Basically, in California, everything's way expensive, right? Way more expensive, but you have beautiful weather. In Texas, you have really high property taxes, but it's more affordable, and the weather is not. It's not really anything bad, right? Yeah, it's just like the summers that are super hot. And then in Florida, you have lower property taxes, but the home insurance, because of the hurricanes and the weather, are crazy high. So you just have to pick your poison. No place is going to be perfect. And, if we're going to Europe, then we have to do the whole residency thing, way higher taxes. So you just really have to, at the end of the day, pick your poison and just choose what works for you and where are you going to be the happiest, what place is going to fulfill your checklist of what things are most important to you. So that's why for us, this checked all the boxes, and property taxes are high, but for us, it's going to work. So I want to say an honorary number 4, because this was a big part of our decision, is the community, right? So we have been longing to be part of community, to have community. One of the things that we've noticed, and we don't know if this is for everyone, but to me, it seems like at least for me personally, being a digital nomad, I experienced a lot of loneliness, and it was hard for me to be a part of a community, especially because I was moving around a lot. And then in LA, even though this is where I lived and this is where I was born and raised and grew up my whole life, after college, it was harder for me to make friends. And so it's kind of just like work, your family, and then at some point, right, significant other. But other than that, it was kind of harder because I don't know if it's the sprawl, the lack of third spaces, right? Is that what they're called? Third spaces. And so
Distance.
for me, I really wanted to kind of fill that void and just kind of really become a part of a community, which is one of the things that made me lean away or shy away from continuing to be a digital nomad, because I thought traveling is amazing, but I want to be a part of a community. I want to know my neighbors. I want to have friends that I can get to know and just really develop meaningful, deeper relationships with. I want to be involved in the city and be a part of it and give. I want to be a part of a city and a part of a community. And the community in Austin, from the people we met, were just young, energetic. They were entrepreneurial. They were excited.
Yeah.
They all had hopes and dreams and aspirations, and they were moving to Austin to sort of start a new chapter. And so that's the kind of vibe that I got from the people that were living there. And so again, this is all sort of close to downtown. And so I loved it, and I just felt inspired. I felt energized, and I felt like this is where I want to be, because the people that are here are gonna be similar to me, and they're gonna just kind of help me kind of fill that void that I had been feeling of just wanting to be a part of a community and really call a place home. Not where I was born, right? Somewhere that I am choosing to be in this next chapter of my life. Because it took him less than 24 hours from the time that we landed to the time that he said, Ivo, let's move here.
Yeah, but the only way I'm like that is because I really trust my gut. So for most of my life, when I have this feeling, it usually pans out, and I just more and more lean into that. So I had done my research, I had looked things up, I had seen what there is to do there, and I just had kind of decided this is gonna be an amazing place. I think when I visit it, I'm gonna love it. And it rang true, and that's how I do anything. That's when I'm shopping for clothes, when I'm looking and researching for like something for us to do, or some art piece or anything like that.
You're somebody's dream client. Dude.
Yeah, I've already done enough research where I just need to go see it. I felt what I felt when I was thinking about it. Let's do it. There's no more thought for me. It's just get it.
Yeah,
let's go.
And for me, it took a little bit longer, but because I do like to weigh all the pros and cons to
I just
every
like committing to
possibility.
something, and it removes anxiety, it removes stress. It's just
G just
I
chooses
picked it. I'll stick
super
with
quick.
it. Let's go.
and so for me, I had been looking for a U.S. home base all of 2024, literally. And so I spent the whole year moving to different cities and living there for as long as I could to just try and get the feeling, the vibes, places that I knew were up and coming. I was in Charlotte, in North Carolina. I was in Raleigh. I was in Jacksonville. I spent some time in Tampa, in St. Petersburg. I visited Fort Lauderdale. And then I also had been to the places in Europe that I mentioned. And I was thinking about doing Las Vegas. But after this trip, I just thought, you know what? My goal was to choose my new place of residence, my new home base by the end of the year. And once we were there, it checked off all the boxes for me. And then the fact that, you felt that strongly about it, to me, I just thought, we can now literally join forces and just to start this new chapter together. And, we can do so much more together. We can be much more powerful joining forces. I thought that this is it.
Yeah.
And so that's how the choice was made.
Yeah, and we'll end on the choice was also made, and it ties back into business. To build a real strong business, you're going to heavily rely on whoever it is you end up doing it with. If you do it alone, it's really difficult. We've talked about it, where when you're building a business, your biggest constraints, problems that you're going to have to deal with by yourself or with someone, if you choose to do that, is going to be your co-founders, it's going to be your employees, and it's going to be any investor that you may have. So with all that, the odds of having a successful business are astronomically higher for you to fail if whoever you pick, you end up not being able to trust, you don't know anything about them, life is gonna happen, what if they freak out on you, what if they quit, there's so many unknowns in business, and now you add that to your partner. So me and Ivo teaming up, it just removes that, where we have gotten to the point in life where we respect each other, we understand how to work around maybe some of our not so great qualities, and we're gonna be stronger together.
And our differences too.
And our differences. And to me, this is it's a bigger reason why I thought if he also likes this place, this is gonna work for us, because us being together and doing something, I know we can achieve something amazing. So we don't know fully what it's gonna be, but I'm excited for the ride.
And let's go. That's how we're gonna end 2024.
Howdy.
Let's go.